Days, 5 nights on Isle Royale. It's going to be a good trip. 1st hour. Pretty cool. I don't know if we can call this wilderness camping. We have a freaking shelter and a picnic table.
Yep.
Get a shelter. Get a shelter. At Daisy Farm, they have a little trail log. And you can see, I put my entry in here. We got Randy up above me. A couple more people have put their entries in. Mudslides and rock slides. Pretty cool. Alright, starting out day 2. And we're heading the 1.7 up to Mount Ojibwe. You guys ready?
Let's do this.
Barely made it out of camp. This trail isn't all too difficult. It's wet today, so we're knocking water off leaves, but the first 2 miles or mile to 2 miles out of any camp is all uphill, and you're only gaining a couple 100 feet in elevation. But when you start off hiking up to the ridge every day, you got to give yourself a minute for your legs to warm up. Down, and then we're gonna go back up. That's the ridge off there in the distance, at least we think. So we came from that ridge way off into the distance there. There's a second ridge right here, and now we're about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way to halfway up the greenstone. Hopefully 3/4, but it's probably more around halfway.
We're about a quarter way.
Yeah, we're about a quarter way up. This is our view.
Oh, there's a lake.
Not a bad view.
Lake Kappa view.
Mount Ojibwe Fire Tower. We're up here in a cloud, apparently. Taking a break. We only did 1.7 to this fire tower. The stairs at the bottom are open. I did not know that. Normally you'd get some pretty good views from up here, but as you can see behind me, it's a cloud. So our view from as high as I can go on the tower. And we got the guys down there.
Hi,
chilling.
How's it going?
We're out here on the greenstone
Woodpeckers.
on the way to the Daisy Farm Junction. There was a bee at the Ojibwe Tower that wanted my life. So West Chickenbone has no water, so we're stopping about a quarter of a mile or three-quarters of a mile. It's rumored that there's no water there. So
just like the Sierras were unpassable.
yeah, so I've got an extra 2 liters, and I filled up both my 1 liter smart water bottles with water.
No.
So I'm carrying 4 extra pounds of weight, which is not the most comfortable thing in the world. But we're gonna get to camp, and I'm gonna have water just in case there is no water. And camp is set up. I'm on this chateau. We got Kurt down there, and Randy is over there. We're in a group site because West Chickenbone Lake is a popular spot apparently. Day 3, Isle Royale. We are breaking down camp. Randy's pretty much done. I'm done. Kurt is taking his time. We don't have to be out of here till 8. That's his time limit at 7:55. He's taking down his tent, so he's still up back there. And then Randy's just finishing putting away his Tyvek sheet back there. I've been ready to go since like 6 in the morning. I don't know what these guys are doing. But no rain last night. Woke up to some fog, but it's burning off quick and we can see some blue skies ahead. So it's looking to be a great day. We're heading to Hatchet Lake, which is 7.4, right? 7.2 from the sign, then about 2.2 up the ridge to the sign. And then whatever it is down to camp from there. I think it's a half mile, so it might be closer to 8. But we'll see when we get there. We're gonna stop for water because the water here is bad. A mile or 2 down there's a stream and hopefully it's flowing. They have been flowing here, so late August. Surprisingly, the streams are still up, which is nice. Made it to the top of a ridge again. Beautiful views with the fog, the sun coming through it. A group got out ahead of us this morning, but they're like right in front of us on the trail. Our goal is to get out earlier than we did yesterday so we can get to camp, dry some stuff out, because it's looking like blue skies today, which is a welcome change. The first day it was just rain and cold for that first 7 miles, but it wasn't bad. We were excited to be here, so we just powered through some wet rock, took a couple spills. Yesterday was a mud festival from the rain the day before, but today we're hoping is a little bit better of a trail, and yeah, we'll see you along the way. Came across the water source. It's a little tan, a little urine flavored. But I filtered a liter, I chugged a liter and filtered a liter, and we should have enough for the rest of the trail until we get to camp. So we just passed the water source. The trail today has been high bushes and tall grass, and so in the morning it's just dew. So if your feet weren't wet, they are now. But we're going through this nice piney woods now, and it looks pretty sweet. Here comes Randy up the mountain, huffing it.
I'm too old. Sit behind a desk.
Sit behind a desk. We got kind of a view up here. I mean, it's shrouded in all the morning fog, but I mean, we got blue skies today. We can't complain. We were down at a creek, and now we're up on a mountain.
I'm not up yet.
Well, we're not up on the mountain yet, but we're close. Fun day so far. The trail is mostly level once you get up here. The only hard part so far is that initial climb to the ridge from the stream. And we've been cruising. We're playing hopscotch with an older gentleman and his brother. They are out here for the first time. checking out Isle Royale. I believe what did they say, they were in their 70s, Randy?
He's 70, his brother is 72. He's ahead of us.
70 and 72, so you know, I at least have to beat them to camp, right? So I'm gonna call this Mount Siskoet, even though we might not quite be there yet. The trail's supposed to run right next to it, and the peak looks like it would be up behind me, and that's the way it looks on my map. But off in the distance, you can see Siskoet Lake, which is one of the biggest lakes on the island. And there's a island out there, Ryan Island. It's a pretty large lake. But this morning, with all this fog burning away over the other ridge lines, it's just beautiful views that you don't get to see unless you come outside and put in the work to get there. At Hatchet Lake. We set up, we've been here for about an hour. So I would have taken some video at the junction, but there were some people there and I didn't want to disturb, you know, their time. So we've been here a little bit, and I've got the tent set up over here. For this trip I'm using the tarp tent Notch, Henry Styles or something like that, or Shires. Over there makes some fantastic tents. There's actually another one. Kurt has the Mo Trail. It's a 2-person tent, also a tarp tent. Lots more space than me. And then Randy is down here rocking the Big Agnes. What is that? The Big Agnes?
UL2.
UL2?
Yeah.
All right. Is that like the Copper Spur or
Copper Spur UL2.
UL2?
Mm-hmm.
He also packed in a chair. Actually, both these guys packed in chairs. I'm the only one without a chair, but my base weight is 16 pounds. So,
And you're sitting in the dirt.
and I've got a sit pad from Dutchware. Dutch sit pad. It weighs like 0.6 ounces. So it's great pad. There's a bunch of logs and stuff, you know, I can just hop on and be good. I brought the Enlightened equipment 20-degree wide quilt, Revelation. Great quilt, love this thing. Definitely the favorite piece of gear I've brought on this trip. As far as like sleeping pad, I'm just using, it's kind of heavy for an air pad. It's the Big Agnes Air Core, and it's an older version. They don't make it anymore. But it is super comfortable. I tried the Neo Air, just doesn't work for me. So I brought a piece of gear that works, even though it's a little bit heavier. But yeah, it's about 4 o'clock now. We're just gonna chill. Randy's already ready to eat. He's rehydrating some pudding, some dessert from Packet Gourmet right now, and Kurt is actually off fishing. He's gonna actually catch tonight's dinner. And yeah, tomorrow the plan is to go to South Lake Desor, but we are considering how we feel tomorrow. When we get there, we may hike through to Island Mine and get to Windigo a day early. It is the beginning of day 4, and it rained last night. So we hunkered down. The tarp tent has seen better days, but it'll be good. Maybe the sun will come out later. We don't know. Randy, how'd you do?
I don't like thunderstorms, so I put my headphones on and just rode it out.
Nice. Kurt,
What?
how'd you do last night?
I did spectacular.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it was good. I put Christ right in the middle of the boat.
Yep.
And he let me sleep and stay dry.
There we go. So we are at the junction of Hatchet Lake. West Chickenbone Lake is back that way where we came from yesterday. We are heading to, it's all the way over here. We're going to Ishping Point is our first stop, I guess. Apparently it's a lookout, but it's completely covered in trees. Randy's the expert. He's been to the island how many times?
This be my like 4th trip.
4th trip to the island. Got the fog rolling in. Or a cloud. Little trick I picked up. Pack up early, forget to brush your teeth. So this is kind of a cool section of trail. We've been through just birch trees for like the last half mile now. And all along you can't really see a full view, but you can see the other ridge line over there. And we had to stop because I didn't realize how high up we are on the island. It seems like we're pretty low based on how flat the terrain is. But we're like at 1,200 feet, just cruising along, going up and down maybe 25, 50 feet in elevation at a time, just along this ridge. Pretty cool area. We came up to this hill, and way down there you can see Lake Desor. We're going to be staying at South Lake Desor campsite tonight, and then there's a North Lake Desor campsite way over there. But we just realized how big this lake is. That's crazy. We are in site number 3, and yeah, we're just chilling. We got in about 3. It's about 3:30 now. I'm just gonna hang out for a bit, let the tent dry out a little bit more, and then pitch that, and might go down and get a shower in the lake. Down at one of the group sites, I guess there's some sand instead of the rock at site 3 here. Site 1 is pretty cool. They have a just like a boardwalk to a giant boulder in the water where you could stand and fish if you want to. Pretty cool. You can see him up there right in the center.
He steals our food, I steal his. Look at him while he's
Boy, yeah, he's gathering up. Randy's over here gathering the pine nuts and stuff he's throwing down.
Oh yeah, sucker.
It's the beginning of day 5 here at South Lake Desor campground. We are going to island mine today. At least that's the plan. We have made it out of camp. the junction for Lake Desor. We're heading to Island Mine Junction, which is a mere 4.8 away. Kurt, what happened to my fire?
We're going to stage 2.
Which is?
You'll see in a second. Stage 2. Welcome to stage 2.
We are having a I guess it's late afternoon fire. Since we got into camp so early, about 1 o'clock, even earlier, 12:30. We ate second lunch, which I just had my breakfast, which was oatmeal today, and we set up camp and gathered firewood. And now we're having a small little fire. You're allowed to have fires up here at Island Mine, as long as you only collect dead and down, and you don't have very large fires.
Oh, you're inches from the other mine.
Disaster. Choctaws live on the edge.
All right.
It's dark. I packed up at camp early. The weather's supposed to turn, the last time we checked it, overnight to driving wind and rain. So I'm trying to go out and get a shelter as people are leaving Windigo this afternoon. So I'm leaving before sunrise, and we're gonna stop right up here. I'm just outside of camp right now and get some water. Made it to the junction for Island Mine and the greenstone, and that's where we're heading today, Windigo. And it's only 6.5 miles. You can see it's starting to get lighter out, but I'm still using my headlamp to see rocks and stuff. Anyway, we'll check in with you in a bit. Hey guys, so I got up early today, headed out to try and snag a shelter. The last time we checked the weather, it's looking like wind and rain for tonight and into tomorrow. So we're gonna try and get a shelter, that way we don't have to hunker down in our tents. I know it's luxury backpacking. One of the things that I love about this trail, when you're coming across these muddy sections, and I don't know if it's Park Service or trail volunteers or just other hikers, there's like a perfect set of stones that you can just hopscotch from to keep out of the mud. And you know, you might say, well, if it's a hiker putting that stone in, you know, that's going against leave no trace. And well, while you're right, I think it actually helps the trail, because what people tend to do in those muddy sections is they'll just walk around and widen the trail out even farther and make it completely impassable. So I like the stones. Probably my favorite part of the trail. I mean, it's like, this is what I'm talking about right here. Prime example. Perfect little set of stones across this creek. This is kind of a bittersweet moment. I've just reached the end of the Greenstone Ridge Trail. So I successfully captured a shelter. I'm heading down the little trail here into Windigo just to check it out because I've got a couple hours before Randy or Kurt show up. Talked to these ladies that they did the full greenstone, so they took a water taxi up to the start. I forget the name of the harbor, and then you go from there all the way. So they did the full 42 miles or so, which would have been nice to do, but we just didn't have time to put in a water taxi trip on this excursion. We had one more day maybe, but they're heading out today, so I was able to secure a shelter. The first 3 that I went to, people were staying, so it looked like they were using Windigo as like a little port, a little base camp for their trip. So we are here at Shelter 10, Windigo. Everyone made it in. Kurt made it in behind Randy and I. I got in about 45 minutes ahead of Randy. He got in and I was back at the shelter and we were able to find each other. Randy and I went into town to visit the store. They have an okay selection for this time of year. They're trying to clear out their stuff for the season, so they don't have too much to pick from, but they've got the best pizza for 40 miles. So we got a little moose out there. Getting some water, taking a bath. Little cow.
I'm seeing the seaweed off the bottom.
Yeah, she's eating. Well, it's the morning of day 7. We are heading on a boat to the other side of the island today. Forecast is rain, cloudy. We're looking at 4 to 7 foot waves out on Lake Superior. We'll see how high they get around the inland. Hopefully the Voyager 2 is going out today. So, as you can see, we are still here. Boat's not leaving today. The current plan is for it to get in early tomorrow morning, around 8 departure, so 7 a.m. we'll be down there, and then we should get back in time for our other boat off the island. But the waves are just too big, so they can't go out today, so they're planning on leaving early. And that's just one of the things that you have to plan for Isle Royale, is to have things come up, weather come up, and change your plans. But we're good. We're gonna hang out here, clean out the general store. So, being stuck here, I'm gonna go into town and do some laundry.